into of the Philippines. That was after losing the first round unanimously and then stormed back to win rounds 2 and 3 with excellent pressure and body shots. So that is the man over in the red corner. The man just into the blue corner is Yertugan ZEINULINOV. Tournament number 2 seed from Kazakhstan. In the round of 16, he beat Jose Manuel Aguirre Cruz of IBA Pro on a unanimous point decision over the undefeated 21-0 professional.
Round 1.
So we're underway then. This is action in the 63.5 kilogram light welterweight division. We're at the bottom of the draw. And the man wearing red is Ahmad SHTIWI, 26 years of age, competing in his 3rd bout of Dubai 2025. His opponent, wearing blue, is Kazakhstan's Yertugan ZEINULINOV. He too in his 3rd bout of the tournament. Two men with contrasting styles to their boxing. You see that SHTIWI is trying to get over that front foot and apply pressure. ZEINULINOV, an out-and-out boxer. Measuring his man with the left jab before going down to the body. Takes a cuffing right hand upstairs and then a solid jab from SHTIWI, but a wonderful right hand whipped in once again. And there's the contrasting styles in evidence, because ZEINULINOV looks to box out of a flow state and let everything come off. Movement that is invariably up on his toes. Now his hands down, and we so readily associate this type of style with him. Just pecking and poking with that lead left jab. So both boxers in search of their range here. ZEINULINOV pressing his way forwards to try and pin SHTIWI against the ropes. ZEINULINOV just looking to establish his longer left hand. That left hand on the inside, well, rather curious coming together there. And again, I think it's really disrupted the legs of SHTIWI. I think he's got a problem here because his knees dipped as though someone had pulled a plug, and look at that. That was from the left hook which landed on the inside while they were in a clinch. ZEINULINOV freed his hands, landed a left hook. I'm not sure it went into rabbit punch territory, but it is completely discombobulated Ahmad SHTIWI. Closing second, and you can see the man can barely hold his boxing stance, clinging on desperately once again. But his equilibrium appears to have been scrambled during that coming together when a left hand was slung in by ZEINULINOV. I think he was well within his rights to do so, because that's part of the art of infighting. You get the hands free and let shots flow. But did it catch SHTIWI behind the ear? But during the clinch he dipped, and thereafter his stance was never the same again. It's this clinch here. There's the shot. It's up on the temple, and look at that. Immediately, as though somebody had pulled a plug, the man's knees dipped, got back to his feet. He's all over the place, and he did well to make it back to the round. He's keeping a poker face, but his coordination completely gone, like a puppet with broken strings. Clean sweep of the cards in the second round, in the first round for ZEINULINOV.
Seconds out. Round 2.
So has the 60-second interval been enough for the coordination of Ahmad SHTIWI to return? Good work to the body. SHTIWI looking to hook away to the head, but it was a rather unusual interlude. And I'm not sure whether the man's legs have returned to full strength here yet. His mind could be completely clear, but the issues going to his extremities could be getting scrambled, and it might just cost him some coordination. I think ZEINULINOV is perhaps cognizant of that. And again, look at the way that right hand just caused him to totter to his right. He's gamely trying to bite down on the mouthpiece and will his way forwards, but his balance less than optimal up there now. Up on his toes, trying to get some sense of coordination back into his legs, but it's looking to be a very difficult endeavor, and I think he's going to be docked a point for holding here. Oh, dear me. So Ahmad SHTIWI's problems mounting by the minute. Nice sneaky right hand over the top. Well, it was one specific incident that seemed to change the entire tenor of this contest. Credit to Ahmad SHTIWI, because if he is experiencing a loss of coordination, then he's doing everything within his power to stay in there and compete and hope that it returns. But he may well not be able to do anything about that, as ZEINULINOV seeking to apply pressure over that front foot. There's very little that SHTIWI can do, as you can see that his legs are unsteady, and it all came from a, well, no punch is innocuous, but it's all relative, of course. But a rather, just a tap on the inside, but when it landed, it had an immediate and significant effect. And Ahmad SHTIWI having to disengage in a hope that he gets full control of his coordination sometime soon, because entering this survival mode here now, as you can see him totter into the ropes, has already been docked a point for holding. But again, it's a question as to how long is a piece of string. Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin, said that Ernie Shavers hit him so hard that he was out when the punch landed, and the fall to the contact with the canvas brought him back around. He had absolutely nothing to do with that, but that's how random getting control of one's senses can be if you have been shaken up, and that seems to have been the eventuality that has befallen SHTIWI here, and I don't think the man has been right for the entirety of the second round. But his competitive spirit remains strong, and he's still in there competing, hoping that he can get back to optimal sometime soon. So 2 rounds completed, both of them scored unanimously in favor of the tournament number 2 seed.
Your third and final rounds.
So as we go into the third and final round, Ahmad SHTIWI needs a massive 3 minutes, having conceded both of the first 2 rounds unanimously. But again, there was a coming together in the opening round which have really impacted and impaired the man's opportunity to compete. Because it's not as though he was hit by a cracking shot or hurt down to the body. The 2 men were in a clinch. ZEINULINOV freed his left hand, tapped him on the target area, and his senses have seemingly been scrambled since that point. He's trying to launch raiding attacks in a bid to try and get in and out without replies. He scored with a good jab upstairs, but I think he's really wary of being touched by ZEINULINOV, because if He could well find himself on the canvas and not know too much about it. So he's in a really difficult position here, SHTIWI. He's desperate to try and progress through to the medal stages. Remember, it's his 4th appearance at consecutive World Championships, having featured in the editions in Yekaterinburg 2019, Belgrade 21, and Aeneas come up there and caught ZEINULINOV below the belt. So it's all happening up there in the boxing ring. I was commentating on a contest in Dublin recently, and Meatball Molly, the former MMA star, made her professional boxing debut. And when she put her opponent under pressure in a corner right next to our commentary position at Windsor Park, the opponent raised her foot and threw a kick. Something that is complete anathema in the boxing ring. It was almost as though she was suddenly overtaken by a street fighting instinct. It wasn't picked up by the referee. Meatball Molly didn't make a meal of it. But there, the knee of Ahmad SHTIWI inadvertently came up and it caught ZEINULINOV below the belt. But he hasn't made a meal of it. It hasn't impacted his ability to move, thankfully. And he's remaining in pursuit of SHTIWI, but SHTIWI on a mission to make it to the final bell here now. Because it was one specific incident in the opening round that completely turned the tenor of this contest on its head. So, there's the bell to conclude the contest, and it will be the man in blue going through on a unanimous verdict. Really have to feel for Ahmad SHTIWI, but unable to muster any sort of significant offensive output tonight. Must be an incredibly frustrating experience, having trained so diligently to see all your plans go awry by, again, a relatively innocuous situation up there in the boxing ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, on ring B, your winner by unanimous decision and advancing to the semi-finals. In the blue corner from Kazakhstan, Yertugan ZEINULINOV.
So Yertugan ZEINULINOV declared a unanimous point decision victor over Ahmad SHTIWI, whose ability to compete was significantly impaired after being scrambled by an innocuous shot during a clinch in the opening round. But it is the tournament #2 seed, Yertugan ZEINULINOV, who was a quarter-finalist in the World Boxing World Championships in Liverpool earlier this year. He's gone at least one better here by making it through to the medal stages and the final 4 in the 63.5 kilogram light welterweight division.